Hey, pay attention. Now is the week. Now is the time you should be paying attention to the Philadelphia Eagles. This is the week we go into the joint practice with the New England Patriots. And I'm expecting this to be a crazy week of news and innuendos and narratives and all of that type of stuff because it's AJ Brown. This is the reckoning. It's been a long time coming. And you know what? Nothing may ever come of it. What happens if AJ Brown doesn't practice because of his busted finger? I don't know what the situation is with that because I'm not keeping up with the Patriots. But I expect to have some dirty looks. And there's going to be some daps and all of that type of stuff. It wouldn't surprise me if AJ and Jalen Hurts got together, dapped each other up as a Kodak moment. Shut up if you're old enough to remember what Kodak is. But you can't ignore the elephant in the room. And there's going to be a lot of conversation about that. And I said weeks ago that it was my prediction that when this joint practice comes, Rick Woolen and AJ Brown was gonna go at it. Quignon's gonna get in there. Coop's probably gonna get his, but I think it's either gonna be Quignon or Rick Woolen. And Quignon doesn't strike me as somebody that talks a lot of trash. I know he does, but just as a reference, he ain't gonna come at you like CJ Gardner-Johnson. Let me say it like that. Rick Woolen has a little bit of a reputation behind him. So he might come with that energy. Now, I don't know what's gonna happen because I've never seen Rick Woolen in camp. So I'm looking forward to this battle. And I'm gonna be glued to Twitter and everything like that because I don't know if ESPN is gonna cover this, if there's gonna be live coverage or anything like that. I'm sure they're gonna have people on site reporting, so gotta stay tightened up with the NFL network to see what they're gonna do. But this week is going to be crazy. All of the conversation with AJ Brown, him and Jalen, the fractured relationship, all of that type of stuff. The stuff that we as fans didn't really understand or didn't know. Heck, even it wouldn't be surprised if the Diana Rossini conversation gets thrown back into the mix. And guess what? You know what? For as much publicity as that situation had, Mike Vrabel really hadn't caught no smoke for this. And you know what? Diana Rossini was probably correct. Well, because she was getting it from the horse's mouth. But you understand what I'm saying. All of that's going to be thrown into the circus. But for the most part, we are going to be looking at how AJ Brown responds, how Jalen responds. Now, it's a little bit of a different situation because they are not going to go at each other. You know what I mean? The offense and defense. And so, but you got a whole squad of defense that know AJ Brown very well. Will it get to be a little bit extra? Pushing, shoving, talking. The trash talk is going to be full tilt. Rest assured. So it'll be very interesting. Every play is you're going to hear oohs and ahs on the smallest catch. Everything's kind of going to be overemphasized, all of that type of stuff. So be ready for it. And I am ready for it. We've been looking forward to this since the trade happened, since the rumors started. Let's keep this a buck. Since the AJ Brown trade rumors even began, which is why I go back to the Diana Rossini stuff. We have been waiting on this day. Maybe it is some people in that secondary that's going to be looking for some get back. This is the opportunity. This is the opportunity this week for somebody to make the squad because the Patriots going to have a good squad. It's going to be a good practice on both sides. I expect to see some fights. And then I would expect this to be a very good preseason game. So it'll be very interesting to see what's going to happen, who's going to step up, who's going to make the first move, who's going to talk the trash first. I remember a couple years ago when the Eagles went down to Miami and did a joint practice. And of course, Tyreek Hill, who's going to guard Tyreek Hill, and Slay step right up and like, let's go. Me and you, let's go. And that was the play. Him and Slay got their feet tangled up, and Slay came out limping. But Slay was running with him. That's the play where I had to admit, I was like, I did not realize Slay was that fast, because he was going step for step with Tyreek. That was impressive, especially when you're talking about somebody that was 30 years old. That was impressive. So you're liable to see something like that. And like I said, my prediction is Rick Woolen and AJ going to go at it. So we'll see what happens. I'm just looking for them to have a good practice, build on the few things that we saw good from the first preseason game. I don't really take too much into that because that was a bunch of rooks playing, and you got to tighten it up with your starters so everybody knows what they're doing at full speed. The defense looks good. Saw the good things. I like Willie Lampkin. I like Markel Bell, but he's got some work to do. Some of the other guys we'll wait and see, but it's early. But I like Jeremiah Trotter. I like I think his name Espinosa. He made some good plays. He also got beat. He got beat on that wheel route. So yeah, we got some things to work on, but everybody's looking for the matchup, man. Everybody wants to see when AJ Brown is going to get on the field, what he's going to do, what he's going to say, how he's going to act, all of that type of stuff. He's going to be at the press conferences. They're going to ask Jalen about it. They're probably going to ask Devontae about it. Him and Devontae will probably have a moment because, they still friends. So him and Jalen might not be the best of friends, but him and Devontae and a lot of other people on that team is probably still friends. So, like I said, that's why I don't know for sure, but I think Jalen Hurts will get out in front of it, have a moment where they dap each other up, make it quick. They ain't got to have no long conversation. Just dap each other up. What's up, dude? Good luck to you. That sort of thing. And keep it moving. And ain't got to be a long conversation. Now, AJ and Devontae might have a little bit of a longer conversation before or after practice. So we'll see. But like I said, it's going to be a lot of people gathered around AJ Brown. And he just didn't kick everybody to the curb. He's got some good friends in there. So we'll see how it's going to act. But we're going to be looking for what it looks like on the field. And everybody's going to go overboard with it. I'm telling you now. If he drops a pass or if somebody defends him well, everybody's going to take that to the nth degree. If he lights one of these young DBs up, everybody's going to take that to the nth degree. So it's going to go on both sides. So I try to exercise a little bit of reserved enthusiasm. And you got to look at the context, look at the play, look at what they're trying to do, all of that type of stuff, man. So you got to take that into consideration. But it is going to be fun to see. All right, it is going to be fun to see. Definitely, me and Tone are going to be talking about that tonight on the Bald Eagles podcast. So stay tuned tonight at 8:30. It's going to be on and popping. It is time for a reckoning.